We're back in Casuals Corner and we're talking about arguably one of the biggest prospects I'm going to put out there in the UFC. The hottest up and coming prospect that can nick a title that took a debut on the weekend, Islam Makhachev. What are your thoughts, Frankie
Yeah,
Gibson?
it's in that division as well, right? It's no secret that 55 is juicy. It's kind of been the premier division for a hot second, and Makhachev's always kind of been outside that conversation, but he threw himself into it in this performance. He looked world class on paper, maybe quite a good matchup for him, but to dominate someone in the UFC that level and to make it look that uncompetitive is something we've only ever seen from one other Dagestan
Let's be honest.
lightweight.
Let's be honest. Like, we were all doing the same thing. We were watching that, thinking, Khabib, 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 Khabib. Like, we was all doing that. He just looks the same. This guy is his training. It's like his blood brother, basically. They look the same.
They've been mates since school.
They're just their mates that just have known each other so long. They look the same.
They morph into each other.
Yeah, they just morph into each other. That's what they look like.
A lot of people think they're cousins, but they're actually not.
So people let's just call them family. They're family.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they are training partners. They are from the same country. They are from the same bloodline. They just train their whole life, do the same training. And then people aren't thinking this geezer might be half decent.
Yeah.
How are people not realising? He was the worst matchup for anyone in that top 5, top 10. That's why he couldn't get a fight. That's why he was so low ranked, because no one wanted to fight him. It was a lose-lose. Khabib was coming out going, this geezer will beat anyone in the division. And that geezer ain't known for jokes. He don't come out and just make funny statements for the sake of it. He just don't even speak if you don't have to.
So yeah, he's stoic. Stoic.
If he's saying a sentence, you should probably listen. So anyone in that top 5, top 10 did not want to fight him.
They're on notice.
Fair play to the fella who just got choked out, by the way, and like they're still trying to find like his tongue. He was like,
it was a weird submission, because it was a lot. They said it was an arm triangle, but it was more of a Von Flute, which is where you choke them with your shoulder in their throat, which is hard to do. Obviously, the grappler, but you don't see too many of them, so it was impressive. It was impressive. But even before that, some of the trips on the fence, the passes, he even attempted an armbar from, I don't know if it was from Mount, but he attempted an armbar into a triangle. Drew showed good defense, but it was just the overwhelming amount of grappling. He even mixed it up on the feet a bit, caught him with a nice left hook. I think as well, it is going to be hard for him to sort of escape that shadow of Khabib, you know, but his style is a little bit different. His striking's definitely a lot more polished on the feet, and when he does grapple, he doesn't ground and pound as much as Khabib. He'll more look to pass, look for submissions. He's got quite a few, I know Khabib did in his last fight, quite a few submissions down. He will hit arm bars. He's a Sambo guy, right? And he does fight like that. So he uses his grappling a lot. And he's an interesting mix to the lightweight division. There's no two ways about it.
The thing is, I quite like him. I'll tell you why I quite like him. Number one, his English has improved so quickly.
That makes it so much easier for us to get behind him. Do you know what I mean?
Which is so important to become a title contender.
No doubt.
You have to have polished English, because you have to be able to communicate with the media, because they have to be able to hype your fights to make you a big matchup. Otherwise, people can't get behind you. And that's what makes the whole thing. So his English has gone 0 to 100, literally out of nowhere.
Fair play to him.
So you've got to respect that first and foremost, because he knows now, I'm going to turn this on. He's on a 7-0 win streak. He's like, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to win. I'm going to win the title now, because I'm just ready. He's called out Tony Ferguson. Who does that? Who does that first and foremost?
We'll discuss more of that.
Like, who does that? If you're saying you're the serious guy on the scene, if you say, all right, call out the hardest geezer, even though he's maybe not even in the top spot, maybe nowhere near his best, the last person you call out is Tony Ferguson. So if you've called him out, you gain my respect instantly, by the way.
I'm glad he did call him out, to be honest with you, because Tony Ferguson versus Islam Makhachev, I mean, let's discuss it. If you're not going to give me Khabib Tony, I'll take Islam Makhachev to Tony all day. Like, give me something that resembles that fight.
He came out and said, Makhachev, he said, Khabib and Tony had deals. They tried to get that fight so many times. They said they had deals, they had contracts. He said, I'm going to honour the contracts. I'm going to honour the deals. He said, so I've got to get that fight done. That's what he said.
I like that. And that makes it so interesting.
Yeah,
like, crazy. As if we wasn't already interested in that fight. Giving it that little bit of je ne sais quoi.
Different
more
angle.
Like, yeah, let's see that. Let's see that.
His proteges come in. Like, what sick stories happen.
Yeah, that sells.
Like,
that sells. You've got my money. I'm hooked.
That's such a sexy storyline.
Yeah,
like the champion protege has stepped in. It's like his surrogate son stepped in for the title.
And Khabib will be in the corner as well. Yeah. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Rocky.
Unbelievable.
It's like Rocky shit. Because he is. Like, people forget, people talk about, like, American athletes being so big about that. No. You should look at, like, Khabib, who's got, like, 30 million followers in the UFC.
Yeah, he's huge in Russia.
He's huge.
He's almost got, like, political influence. He's that big.
He's crazy.
It's crazy.
He is like, I feel like when I watch the footage of him and how it all seems, it feels like David Beckham when he first became like sort of huge in the UK. Do you know what I mean? When he was like
superstar.
Just like global, just superstar.
He's almost got, like, when he walks around, like almost quite like a royal presence to him. Like, he just has that.
You know what it is? You know who it is? He looks like Crumb in Harry Potter. The royal guy.
I don't even know who that is.
Victor Crumb.
You're going to have to pull a picture up when you edit this.
Go Google now. Type in Victor Crumb.
Yeah, he does look like him. I mean, all the Dagestan guys look very, very similar. So that does look like him, though.
It does look like him, doesn't it?
Could be a bit more heavily bearded, but yeah, he is a bona fide superstar.
Crazy.
But yeah, the addition of Islam Makhachev to 155 is well and truly arrived. I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
The quickest route he can get it, he will get it. So if he has to go through Tony, and then let's just say he gets a last minute call up for whoever, if he can do it in 2 fights, I think he'll do it in 2 fights.
I reckon he'll go Tony. I think he'll beat Tony. Like me predicting the future, I think he'll go Tony. Then if he wins that, I think he'll go Charles Oliveira or Charlie Olives, as everyone knows him as, which is just a great abbreviation of his name.
I think Oliveira is one of the most exciting in that division, to be honest.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think that is a thing, Oliveira. But I honestly think this is where it's awkward in that 155 though. That one where it gets awkward.
The notorious one.
I think that the next time Poirier fights, he has to fight for the title.
I think they're doing him versus McGregor, not for the belt, which is crazy.
But Poirier has to fight for the title next.
Yeah, but
he has to.
I reckon they'll chuck a load of money at him and he'll fight McGregor.
But Dana's he has to fight for the title next.
But Dana's already come out and said that if him and McGregor fight, it won't be for the belt. So, like, again, it just adds to the illusion, because he just got stopped. But it adds to the mystique of that division, like what's going to go on. Khabib's still holding the title technically, and Dana's meeting with him this week. So you don't know how that's going to play out as well. So there's so many pieces that can fall in places, and you just never know what's going to happen.
I'm not having it.
You just never know what's going to happen.
I'm not having it. No way.
Don't take it up with me. Take it up with Dana.
No, that dinner's nothing. Dana is holding on by the skin
Dana's a
of his
dog, mate.
teeth.
Dana's a dog.
Mate,
He will not give up.
he is like, he says he says one thing in the media, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, America B comes out and we're like, they're a bold liar. I'm not saying that.
This is number one bullshit.
He says that and he's like, I didn't say that, I never fight again. I was like, why did you say that, Dana?
But
like, chat shit. And then like he accepts drinks with him and then he thinks, oh, he's gonna come back and do a 10-fight contract.
No, I don't think he'll do 10, but I think if the right fight presents itself, Khabib could still be in the mix.
Realistically,
but who knows?
Let's look at it like this. There's two arguments for that. He's never gonna fight his surrogate son realistically. So there's only two people.
Khabib won't, no.
There's only two people that you could argue at the moment could beat him at lightweight, and that's going to be Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler, just because he's never fought him. But there's no other fights, and they're not even special enough, realistically, within themselves. They haven't done anything special enough within themselves at the moment for him to go, I'm going to come out and fight them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But they've got to fight, and then the performances will speak, and then it will all unfold. I think if Oliveira keeps dominating like he is, then Khabib will come out to play. And then in the meantime, I think Islam will work his way up, and then Khabib will sort of let it go, and they'll exchange sort of. They won't fight each other, obviously, but again, it will just all work itself out. It's just so much to unfold. There's so many different potential avenues of what could happen.
I think he would have to be very, very dominant at 155. Like, very dominant for Khabib.
Oliveira.
I think he would have to be extremely dominant for...
Like he was in his last fight against Ferguson.
Yeah. That's
what I mean. So like that's the dominance he's showing. His last few performances were crazy. He's beat Kevin Lee handedly, finished him.
If he does that in every fight,
well, yeah. If he goes out there and just outclasses Michael Chandler,
because he can get a few fights in a year.
Yeah, say this. Yeah, he goes out there again. I'm playing ahead of time. He beats Michael Chandler, and then he fights the winner.
Exciting, by the way.
Yeah, very exciting fight.
Who is also a conversation.
Yeah, and then he fights the free. Then he dominates them as well. Then I think something like that would bring Khabib out, someone who emerges as a clear contender. But like, it's all got to play out. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's all well and good having these dinners.
I need to have a conversation off of that though. I need to.
Go on then.
Let's talk Khabib. Like, let me just throw some numbers at you, right? I need to just throw some numbers at you.
Talk to me.
Only is this geezer undefeated, okay? We are talking about mixed martial arts. We're talking about the UFC. So we're talking about the elite in mixed martial arts. Number of ways of knocking out, submitting, killing.
Disqualifications
your opponents, right? And this guy has not only never lost a fight, has arguably never lost a round, maybe lost one, where they're disputing if he's lost one. And then you hear his coaches and behind the scenes, who are not known for jokes, they're not known for hilarity, say, we have never seen this guy submitted in training.
Yeah.
Never seen him lose a round in training. He said he could fight for 19 years and probably never lose. And people were like, oh, could they fight him? They just said, like, blindedly, he could win against anyone. And I just believe that. Believe that.
Well, a lot of this stuff, right, is sometimes living in like fantasy, that, oh, could he beat him? Oh, pound for pound. But statistically, he is the most dominant fighter in the world. I know 10-8s aren't exactly hard to come by nowadays, but out of every combat sports athlete, he has the most 10-8 rounds. So that is what you base dominance off. So he is the most dominant fighter we've ever seen. So the numbers don't lie.
We're arguing if he may have lost a round in his career.
It's crazy. It's
He's a
crazy.
mixed martial artist. He's fighting for 25 minutes at times because he
It's
is obviously the best. So he fights for 25 minutes, basically half an hour. You could watch a whole episode of EastEnders and he has not lost a round in that time.
Doesn't get tired as well. This is the thing. Like, he just doesn't get tired. The level of control is. We've never seen anything like it. We really haven't. And
it honestly brings me on to the question of when people we speak about pound for pound. I don't understand how he's not top all the time. How what can he do more? What can he do more?
Yeah, the only thing that people say, right, because pound's like the best per weight. If he would have gone up to 70 and fought for that title, but he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to dominate at 55, and that's exactly what he's done. So you like, even if you hate him, there's nothing you can say that is from that.
But listen to this.
Is on another level.
But listen to this.
Say it, go on.
What, we're going to punish the geezer because he hasn't made him more exciting for us? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's a case of not being exciting in terms of his style. Like, I used to love watching him because it's always the question, right? Like, oh, can this geezer? Like, what happens if no one could solve the puzzle? Everyone knew exactly what he was going to do, and no one could do anything about it. It's crazy.